Hi YouTube, welcome back to my channel. Time to show you what I got from the Chanel Autumn, or as they insist on calling it, Fall 21 collection. It's a different type of release this time, no eye quads, although of course we did have those two quads relatively recently. Basically, they just give 4 looks, which are a liquid eyeshadow. So the Ombre Premiere Lac, which is a formula they've done before, I haven't used terribly successfully. And then they pair it with a Stilo and Contour, which is the thicker tipped pencil, and with nail polish. And there were 2 lipsticks as well. One fairly neutral pink nude and a red. The promo pictures, photographs, I think look quite sophisticated. I have tried to recreate them, needless to say, not entirely successfully. In the end, I picked 2 of the Ombre Lac. So I went with this one, Ivory. Slightly, I dithered about this one. This is the kind of least autumnal, least pigmented, I don't mean that, I mean dark colouring of them. And I just thought that this probably would work on its own as a kind of one slick brightening up the eye when I couldn't be bothered to do more. I have to say it's not terribly successful for that, because this particular one I find a bit watery and it doesn't really successfully kind of blot out the imperfections in my eyelid in the way that a crayon does. So I'm a bit kind of stuck how I'm going to use that one. I was tempted to get the red one, astonishingly enough. There's a kind of russet coloured one, which is undoubtedly the most unusual, really, really pretty in the promo photographs. But of course it's shown with a darker skinned brunette model. And I just know I have these difficulties with red, and it's a very bold look. So although that one, to me, looked the standout, pretty unusual one, and there's a matching pencil, I didn't go for that. There's a khaki. I was quite tempted by that because I do like khaki, but in the end I went for the grey version. What's this one called? This is the one I've been wearing the most. This is called Lame Acier. Not familiar with that word in French. So you can see a kind of pearlized grey. Let me show you so you get a pointed little Dauphin applicator. It doesn't look that shiny. It's looking very shiny on my hand. Doesn't look that shiny when you apply. And then, I mean, you could leave it to dry like that, or most people I've seen kind of blending it out. And you have to do this pretty quickly, either with finger or with a brush. With finger, you know, it blends a lot, so it's quite opaque. So it's not a hugely pigmented look. And I have found that I can actually sheer it, even over my slightly crepey eyes, pretty successfully. And then I kind of have to tidy up the hooded bit with the pencil, which also sets pretty quickly, but you can sheer it if you go in there quite quickly, either with fingers, a brush, or if you're actually lining. I find a cotton bud works the best. I really like the pencil, I have to say. I've had the pencils before. They're, you know, all of mine are in quite similar brown khaki shades, so this kind of grey is nice for me, and I have been using it. And it is fairly versatile on the eye, because you can kind of blend it out as a colour wash on the lid, or you can line. And I even find that kind of doing a line on the eye socket and then blending works with my hooded lid to give a bit of fake recession, as it were, to my eye look. And the most use I get out of this really is popping a bit kind of in the central bit of the mobile lid. As it is, not really blending it out very much. That takes a little while to dry, so you have to try not to blink too much. And that gives a kind of bit of colour when the lid is down. So, and then of course I got the matching nail with that, which, is it this one? I think it's this one. I'm not sure whether they intend, it might be this one actually, they intend with the grey, I think it must be. But both of those would work, frankly. And I think actually a red contrast is nicer with that eye look. I mean, you might go for a red lip or you might go for a nude lip. Would I recommend the Ombre Premier Lac? Frankly, not really. I mean, you're either a fan of that fluid eyeshadow or you're not, and I find them quite difficult to work with. Am I a fan of the Stilo Ombre? Yeah, I am. I do think they're quite versatile, easy to work with, and you can just stick it in your handbag or your makeup bag. Good to go. I didn't buy either of the lipsticks. I've got to give up on so many lipsticks because I've got too many that I haven't used. I did, of course, buy all 4 of the nail polishes. Distribution doesn't seem to be as much of a problem with these. When I looked last night, this brown one, interestingly, is sold out on the website. That's Brun Fumé. But the other 3 were available. I'm quite surprised. I thought this one might be the most popular because I think in the kind of range of shades they do, it's possibly the most unusual. But the brown is possibly as well. I haven't had time really to go through all my endless polishes to tell you what I've got that you might have that's very similar. And they're in a bit of a mess. I need to have a bit of a sort out, to be honest, which isn't going to happen for a few weeks because I'm going to be away. But I did do a quick kind of butcher's because this one, when I saw it, this is called Rouge Brun. I thought was going to be quite like Rouge Noir, the all-time favourite. I knew it was a bit more kind of cloudy and purpley. And when I managed to find my Rouge Noir, well, one of my Rouge Noirs, there you see, really nothing like it at all. Very much more noir. So that was interesting. Interestingly, what I think of as the American version of Rouge Noir, Vamp, bit more like, of course, Vamp's a bit metallic, so completely different finish. Not really like, is it? I had a quick kind of sortie. I've literally got about 4 drawers full of these vampy dark reds. I thought of Accessoire, which is one of my favourites. Again, nearer but redder to the kind of plummy look of this one. Mythique, I think, is in the permanent collection. Again, redder. So I'm really going to have to look through the kind of more purpley sludgy ones. Interdit was released this year. I've only just recently got it because it was sold out. And to be honest, that's nearer than some, but again, definitely more red. So I haven't, I do bear in mind, on the nails, these are still going to look very, very similar. I haven't found anything thus far that is much of a dupe. You're never going to find an exact dupe. They're cunning enough because they know what they've released before. The other one that I immediately looked for was this one, which is my favourite actually of them. I have worn this twice and it wears quite well. And this is Beige Cendré. I thought immediately of Frenzy of a few years ago, but you can see Frenzy is much lighter. I also thought of Afterglow. I think that was spring or summer, possibly 2 years ago. Again, lighter. And New Dawn. This is a favourite of mine. Closer. But again, less grey, more mauve. Kind of stuck between this and the brown one. Of course, one of their most popular kind of neutrally beiges was Particulier. But you can see that's settled a bit in the bottle. I'm just shaking it up. Not as grey, but it's quite close actually. So Particulier, if you're a fan of Particulier, you might like this one. And I had wondered if that would be a bit like the brown. Not nearly as dark. I pulled out Carquet Brune for a comparison with the brown. Obviously a bit more khaki, but definitely in the same ballpark. That's a few years old now. So perhaps that's why Brune Fumé is so popular and is sold out, because it's reminding people of the long gone Carquet Brune, which came out with, there were 3 of them. There was Khaki Vert, Carquet Brune, and I think Khaki Rose. Really nice trio of polishes. And then, of course, there's Terre Brûlée, which is a famous Chanel red. No one does reds like Chanel. I haven't been able to go through my endless drawers of the kind of really blood reds. It's a very warm orange, dark orange based red, this one. I might put this on tonight, actually. Definitely on my toes. It's really pretty. The formulations seem good. As I say, this is the only one that I've worn. I've worn this twice. And it's very nice. I'm sorry I haven't got it on at the moment. I've been doing a lot of housework today, so the polish has had to come off. So there's a quick run through my picks. As always, the nail polish wins hands down with me. I think a lot of people have been slightly disappointed with this fall collection, and I can see why. It's perhaps not as exciting as seeing a palette, but I think probably they're saving themselves up for the holiday release now. But there's some quite nice staples here, and those pencils are definitely very wearable. So there we go. Keep yourselves safe and well until next time. Always happy to see a thumbs up from those of you who've crawled to the end of my video, and I shall speak to you again soon. Bye for now.